Alright guys, this is the Angryprepper. Let me know how I sound. The audio monitor seems to be mid-range. This is a cool setup. I'm looking at a new setup from Ecamm, so excuse me. Let's see, 26 seconds, 93 people. Five by five. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Very good. All right, guys. So again, listen. Thank you for joining me. I'm on time. I've been late so many times. I'm a little surprised that I'm here now. So again, thank you for joining me. So tonight we are going to talk about, well, we're going to keep it prepping related, and then in the Angry Truth at 10:15, we're going to obviously switch gears. So let's get the show started. All right, happy Easter, everyone. Happy Easter, guys. 5 by 5, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, yes, the monitor seems to be a lot better, at least on this end. Your audio is low. All right. Yeah, everyone's saying 5 by 5, outstanding. They can hear me, but you're the only one that says my audio is low. Mic, output. 10-4. All right. If anything, I'll just switch to the computer. Vegan prepper. There's always somebody who. Nice. Turn your hearing aid up. There's always somebody who's going to press the thumbs down as soon as I click on. It's just how it is. I don't know why people are, pricks like that, but whatever. Out. How about now? Can you hear me now? 5 by 5. Low. All right. High. Looking good. 5 by 5. No problem. Sound good. All right. Good. All right. Audio is fine. Nope. EF's lurking on the Tennessee Tactical. Yeah, it's probably him. No problem. All right. Good. All right. Thank you guys again for joining me. Sorry about. I hate that technical shit, but it seems to be the only way I can get it done right now until I find actual, someone to help. I guess in the background. So until I find that help, I have my moderators, but until I have help like here, that can it is what it is. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining tonight. So let's get on with the show now. Speak into your mic. All right. So anyway, guys, upon walking around the city, if you will, I saw that should be better now. That should be slightly better anyway. But anyway, as I've been walking around the city, I've noticed something that is not being talked about here in the city, in New York. Now, if it's going on here, it has to be going on in other places. I just don't know why it's not being spoken about. That is sheetrock. Sorry. So, with that, one of the issues that are going on in the city right now is rats. Rats are a huge problem here in the city. I think loud and clear. All right, thank you guys. No one's talking about the rat problem here in the city. I think because of COVID last year, they got a bit of a head start. And I hate saying it that way, but they definitely got the jump on people because of COVID. Nobody wanted exterminators in their home, and a lot of building owners didn't want exterminators in the building. And for a lot of the restaurants that closed down, rats were able to, I guess, grow unchecked. Well, a lot of the food that were being tossed out behind the restaurants or on the streets of the restaurant. Um, all right, Val, I'll figure it out in a minute. In a minute, sorry. So with that, um, there's been an increase in rats. No, not snitches. No, rats, legit rats. Like, fucking the little furry things that people want to fucking kill. Those rats, not people ratting people out. Um, so, again, right, not Cuomo, not Biden, right, not Kamala Harris, the actual rats. Carol, the rats here in the city, they can get pretty big. They can get to the size of a cat, right? Like a kitten, if you will. Sorry, not like a and some guys have seen what looks like full size cat rats, if that makes sense. Anyway, being that we had a pandemic that we were worried about, rats have taken over the city. Now, rats have always been a problem here. They've never been. They've never gone unchecked until the pandemic. And after the pandemic, well, it exploded. So when you see rats during the day, because rats are normally nocturnal, when you see rats during the day, there's a problem. Either A, the rat is sick, or B, there's just too many rats for them to hide, if you will, hibernate in places. So in the Bronx, I see rats everywhere. Now, when I'm walking to work, for those of you that follow my videos, from when I'm walking to work, I see a ton of rats from leaving the house to getting to the job, right? So there is clearly a problem from, let's say, 2 years ago when I was walking to work, right? So, again, it's a problem. Now, the reason why this is going to be a bigger problem is because obviously rats cause diseases. Now, there was Channel 7, maybe Channel 5. They did a news clipping on a lady who had rats like this, probably about like that. And that's not the tail. That's not including the tail. With the tail, it's like that big, right? So with that, she had rats running around in her apartment. And the news crew came over to film. And this is, guys, keep in mind, rats are skittish of people. But when rats stop being skittish of people, there's a problem. And this film crew is in there filming the rats run around her apartment during the day. Anyway, and this was last year during the pandemic. She had a rat problem. She called housing. So she looked for housing. New York City housing, guys, for those of you that do not know, New York City housing is a disgusting shithole group of people that work in the city. At least in the housing projects by where I work, they're a bunch of shitbag fuckface do-nothings. These people do nothing. All they do is call the fire department to handle their work. They are absolute zeros at what they do. That being said, when people call housing to get certain things fixed, they're supposed to be at that person's apartment fixing it. No, instead, they give them every song and dance while they can't fix it. This is the housing department. So, again, they're huge shitbags, if you ask me. All right, and I had no problem telling them to their faces a couple of times. Now, I know if any of you work for housing, obviously I'm not talking about you unless you are one of them and you got offended. Nonetheless, I digress. Let me get back to the video. Right, so for those of you that live in the city, the rat population we have, out, go. Sorry, guys. The dog was about to walk under the background here. He was going to knock it over. So, with that, the population of rats in the city are brown rats. They're also known as Norway rats. I guess they came from Norway. We had a black rat population here till about, I think, the early 2000s. Then the brown rats won the rat war, if you will. And that's how they got ahead. So, the rat population here in the city, so they did a study. And during the study, they had said that the rat population was 2 million in New York City. all 5 boroughs. 2 million. There's 2 million rats on my block, let alone the entire city of New York, all 5 boroughs. So whoever did the study in 2014 must had to have been blindfolded, had their eyes closed, only saw 2 million rats in like one area and said, "Up, that's the whole city." There are way more than 2 million rats, which would be that the estimation or the theory is that there are 5 rats per every person in the city, and there are 8,000 or 9,000 resident, 9 million residents, sorry, in New York City. So you do the math. Check check. All right. So with that, the rat population is growing. There are things or diseases that are going to start popping up because of this. So, yes, Tasha Cook. Not only do I have to leave New York City because of the crime, now I got to leave New York City because of the rats, because the rats are becoming an issue, and no one's talking about it. But if you talk to an exterminator, they'll tell you it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem that the city is not addressing as a whole, right? So, one more thing, another reason for me to leave the city now are fucking rats. Gray man, we have a lot of we have a lot of cats here. We have a lot of stray cats, especially here in this area, and still, I think the cats would get jumped by the rats. Say that 8 times fast, right? So rats, I guess, fully grown, weigh about 2 pounds. Though I've seen bigger than 2 pounds. Rats eat 28 grams of food and water a day to live. They sleep 10 hours a day, so they're nocturnal. They're sleeping during the day. Um, Here's the disgusting thing about rats. I didn't notice. I had no clue. They can jump 4 feet and they could tread water for 3 days before drowning. 3 days. So, no. Okay. Jennifer, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. So, again, with the rats being a problem here in the city, uh, there are. Okay. So, one story. I'm going to try to explain this as simple as possible. Hopefully, you guys understand. But in one of my positions as a firefighter, there's something called the outside vent man. And the outside vent man, on certain calls, has to go to certain spots of the building to get the super, shut the water off, check for water leaks in lower parts of the building, things like that. I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible. With Okay, so now keep that in mind. Sometimes we have to go to the back of the building. There have been times, guys, where you've gone to the back. All of us, have gone to the back of the building, and we've seen nothing but a sea of rats. So now imagine you still got to get to your position through that sea of rats, and you're legitimately kicking rats out of the way to get to your position, right? So if you have a fear of rats, the city is not a great place to be a fireman or a cop, because cops got to deal with this shit too. Um, DS Private, I'll be talking about the Ukraine incident in the Angry Truth later tonight. I'll be talking about the Ukraine incident and the developing Chinese Taiwan that's been developing for like a year and a half, 2 years now. Deborah Do, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. So, again, guys, the infestation of rats in the city is not being addressed. Now, rats cause a lot of diseases. Now, somebody mentioned bubonic plague. Bubonic plague is actually um, indirect transmission of rats, because it comes actually from the fleas of the rats, right? Which bite people and then cause bubonic plague. But they also cause the fleas. Rat fleas cause typhus and spotted fever. Rats can also cause hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which is very bad. Uh, I'm not sure if it's transmittable between humans to humans, though it can mutate to do so, but it's regularly caused by rats. So rats biting and or fluid of a rat, piss, shit. Don't ask me why. But nonetheless, that's where hantavirus can come from. There's something called lepospirus. Uh, Lepospirus, sorry. That's another disease rats cause. There's another disease called rat bite fever. and there's then this typhus. And typhus is like a skin disorder, right? So all of these rat diseases are skin disorder. The bubonic plague is the one to worry about as of right now. Paul F, thank you for the donations, appreciate it. Now listen, guys, we're talking about actual rats, but right, we have bigger rats known as politicians here in the city, right? Can we exterminate them? There's probably a way, but let's not address that yet, right? So, rats also cause Colorado tick fever, and that was a new one for me. I didn't know that they can cause that kind of a disease. But keep in mind, guys, these diseases can spread um, because of rats, because of the unchecked population. Like I said, during the day now, I'm seeing them more and more, um, and that's bad, right? Restaurants that are closed down, that have people, that don't have people in them, that don't have the workers even just going in to check them out, they're being overrun with rats. So the rat population's going unchecked, and exterminators are either A, not getting called to handle their business, and B, uh, a lot of places don't want exterminators in there because of this whole COVID shit. Though, because things are opening up, you would have thought otherwise. But, and the other problem is, guys, there are not a lot of exterminators here in the city that deal with rats, right? And they have to get calls they got to take in, exterminators from Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island to come here into the city. So that's also another problem. There's just not enough manpower to handle the rat problem that we're having. Now, downtown by like Water Street, that's like the tip of Manhattan, they've been having a huge rat problem for a long time. They actually have dogs that hunt rats and kill them. This is a special group of dogs that are downtown, for the rich people down there who don't like the rats. And those are water rats. So water rats are bigger. They're way bigger. They're not the Norway or the brown rats. They're water rats. So, I mean, they get really fucking big down there. But anyway. And yeah, someone mentioned something about learning how to catch rats and eat them. No. Listen, I guess as a city prepper, that would be a video that I think might interest people. If I get enough interest in it, I'll give it a shot. But remember, that is a source of food, but you got to keep in mind that you're eating rodents that have multiple problems and could have multiple illnesses with them. That's why a lot of people try to avoid them. Some people say, "Oh, you can cook them, until you get all the virus out of them." Yeah, but then you're left with charcoal, right? So, again, I don't think eating rats here in New York is the best way to go. But whatever. I'd rather eat spam at that point than eat rats. So, Southern Bell Teacher, how you doing? Prepper 007. I don't know. Like I said, I'd rather eat spam. All right, so guys, next subject we're going to talk about. So, I'm sorry, back to the rat thing. The rat thing is going to go unchecked. I know it's happening in other cities. So, we could be seeing possible diseases from these rats. Like I said, possible. It's not written in stone. Don't take my word. Don't be like, well, the Angryprepper said there's going to be a rat infestation that's going to start fucking the bubonic plague. No, I am not saying that. I'm just saying that it could happen. Hurricane Rip, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So next subject we're going to talk about, which is my favorite subject of all, is New York City is falling apart. Now, I am going to update you guys as much as possible with the city, but I think at some point it's just going to be, I'm going to sound like a broken record. The city crime wave is getting worse. I can't, not I can't, I am almost interested to see how much worse this gets, because every day there's a shooting now, and there's multiple shootings, not just one or two, multiple, and people are being killed or hit. Ashley, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Crime is astronomically high. Like I said, several shootings a day. Listen, this is how bad it got. The other day, and listen, I don't know how bad it was, but the news reported a New York City police officer was sexually assaulted while she was on duty. So keep in mind, she was in uniform, standing in a train station with her gun, I don't know if they carry nightsticks anymore, her taser, her mace. She's in uniform, fucking NYPD, and the guy came up and grabbed her ass, right? Grabbed her by the behind, if you will, and of course he gets locked up. Now, for whatever reason, they should have thrown him a beating, but it didn't sound like they did, um, because if somebody grabs, what's going on, Robert? If somebody grabs a cop's ass in uniform, they should have threw that guy a beating so that every other person who is thinking about it in the city won't do it. The problem is now, guys, is that this guy grabs the cop's ass. They just arrest him. He might do it again. Or somebody else might do it again. And then somebody else does it again. But now the next time it's worse. He grabs the titties or some shit, right? So now it gets worse. Maybe they knock the cop out, the female cop out. Maybe they try to rape her. This is why you throw fucking perps beatings. This is the one reason. This is possibly the only reason I'll agree to this on. Is, Robert, thank you for the donation. Is that if a guy gets away with grabbing a cop's ass or sexually assaulting a cop, that means he's going to get arrested and he's going to be released tomorrow, let's just say. And then what? Then he goes out and he does it again. Right? Now, yes, cops lost qualified immunity, which means that cops can be sued civilly, and the PD, NYPD, will not protect them. So they are on their own if they get sued. Listen, I couldn't have been a cop. I could not have been a cop. I would have been throwing beatings left and fucking right, especially for shit like that. And listen, guys, there are other things you don't even entertain. There are things you don't entertain. There are things you don't throw beatings for, right? But there are certain things where you have to draw a line in the sand, and sexual assault on a cop in uniform, I think, is it. I am pretty sure it's it. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm overreacting, right? When are you planning to moving out? Seacock. God, or Coke. Seacoke. I don't know how you say your name, but hopefully by the end of the year. And we're not moving far, so whatever. Well, Bree, so now my thing with the cops is they should absolutely be fucking leaving in droves. Like I said in my last video, throw their badges on the fucking captain's desk at their precinct and bounce the fuck out of here. Because this is the kind of respect you're getting, Listen, guys, it's going to be a constant problem if you don't lay down some fucking rules. I'm sorry. As long as the cops keep getting disrespected, it's only going to get worse. Debadu, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Yeah, it will help. Listen, we have a plan in action. We didn't renew the lease. We only renewed the lease. Sorry. We renewed the lease for 1 year. That means by the end of this year, we have to get out. Hudson Valley prepping, exactly. The blue flu. Everyone should call out sick. Now, I also get it, guys. I also understand that cops don't want to just abandon the city for a couple of bad apples. But those bad apples are going to be more brazen. They're going to do more shit. It's going to get worse. They're already shooting at cops. So, I don't know what else to... I mean, it's just a bad way. Now, this incident with the sexual assault of the cop, on-duty cop, was March 27th. That was last Saturday. All right? So, it's pretty bad now when you're doing that shit. I mean, listen, guys, there used to be some respect. Even criminals who shot at cops, they still had... and when I mean respect, I mean they wouldn't have never done any shit like that. Old school criminals didn't do shit like that. These new kids don't give a fuck. What is stopping a guy from raping a cop? So, listen, I heard of and not this is urban legend, but I heard this from an actual cop. There was a female cop a bunch of years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. She was, for a better lack of a term, an asshole for a cop, right? And people didn't like her. I think she wasn't even liked in her precinct. Anyway, she mouthed off to these two dudes. They smacked her around. They didn't beat her up, but they left her damn near naked in Central Park, right? Handcuffed to a tree or some shit like that. And I remember the cop that told me this, and I said, we didn't hear about it. He goes, because they kept that shit under the rug. But when he told me about it, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Again, that was like 12 years ago. And so that, I mean, when you look at that case, you're like, all right, maybe she was running her mouth, whatever the case is. But still, those guys didn't, from what he told me, she wasn't sexually assaulted. They were just teaching her a lesson. Which, again, that's some criminal shit. They taught her a lesson by doing that, right? But this cop grabbing another cop's ass, and it can definitely escalate down the line, which is fucking bad. Like I said, guys, you got to draw a line in the sand. At some point, you got to do some shit. Bad enough, NYPD, or rather the city, abandoned the cops. The cops are now on their fucking own. They can't do shit. They can't, listen, if they do something, they're fucked. If they don't do anything, they're fucked. So they're fucked either way. They can get sued for not doing something. They can get sued for doing something. If they lock up a perp, and the perp so happened to, I don't know, hit his head against the concrete while they were taking him down, he could sue. Right? So they are in fucking a rock and a hard place. Scrappy Cat, when you can, do me a favor, shoot me an email, either during or after the live stream. All right, so moving right along in this in NYC Falling Apart, this fucking edition is insane. So for a lot of you that don't know, because I know a lot of you know, some Asian lady got her ass handed to her a couple days ago, right? So apparently, listen, I do not know what this trend is with beating up Asian people. I don't get it. It's it's strange. It's strange that all of a sudden it's a trend, and that's coming from NYPD. It's a trend to kick Asian people's ass. I don't get it. I mean, a lot of people are getting their asses handed to them out there, guys. A lot. Old women are getting beat up. So, Asian people are getting beat up. Old black men are getting beat up. Like, everyone's getting beat up. And some reason they're focused on the Asians because I guess it's happening nationwide. I don't know. I don't know who got up in the morning and said, you know what? I want to beat up Chow Ping. That's exactly what I want to do today. And then go and proceed to beat up a Chinese or Asian person. I don't get it. But I guess the problem with the Asian beatings, if you will, I don't know, is there was a bad one, I guess, earlier this week. What's today? Thursday. So earlier this week, there was a bad one where this lady was getting her ass handed to her, and the security guy in the building looks outside, sees her getting her ass handed to her, getting stomped on, beat up, thrown around, or beat up and smacked, I'm sorry. And the guy looks, security guard, or whoever the fuck he was, in the fucking building, closes the door. A glass door that you can still see him through and he can still see her. Closes the glass door like he wants no part of it. Now listen, guys. If you are a coward, and this is talking to the very, very few, maybe the one or two cowards that I have on here, if there are any, right? At some point, guys, you got to grow a pair of balls. Ladies, you got to grow a breast, right? And you got to get into the fight. Sometimes you might have to take a beating for somebody else. It could be worth it. It might not be worth it. We don't fucking know. But nonetheless, guys, you see somebody who's defenseless getting their asses handed to them, you got to jump in the mix. You got to do something. Pick up dog shit and throw it at them, right? Throw fucking a can of fucking vegan beans you have in your bag. Throw something at them, to get him distracted and off. But to sit there and watch and then not do anything, that's some straight fucking pussy shit, if you ask me, and listen, guys, I don't care if you don't like Asians. If you dislike whatever group you dislike, when somebody's getting their ass handed to them, you still need to, as a human, step in and stop the bullshit. That's just me personally. I mean, listen, they said the guy was towering 6'5". All right, so then I would have jumped in there and fucking, did my best, wrestled him to the ground, choked him out, did something, anything, or diverted the beating to he's beating me and she runs away, something, But it just to be a fucking complete coward and do nothing. Listen, I can't stand straight bitches. That is my fucking. I got a lot of pet peeves. A lot of you know, but that's my one. A fucking man being a coward. It just ugh. It's just a thing. Yeah, Nisi. I mean, listen. I have to put it out there. Let's keep it 100%. And Nisi tribe, I'm talking. Let's keep it 100% real. Growing up, Asians never treated me any better. Growing up, they weren't. They never. They were never nice to us black folks growing up. I think it might have changed now. I don't know, but I know Chinatown and the Korean section in Queens. I think it's not Jackson Heights. Fuck that Asian area in Queens. I forget it. The Korean sense. They were never nice to me. All right, so I couldn't remember when the last time, like an off the boat Asian person was nice to me. I couldn't remember. As far as Americans, Americanized or just American Asians, they were always cool. But the off the boat, man, they were always assholes. Bottom fucking line. I'm not gonna sit here. Flushing, thank you, Pumpkin Slayer. Flushing, right? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that it was all good and they're the greatest people in the world. Listen, they had their race issues with blacks too. So there are black people out there who don't like them for that reason, right? You had the same thing with Hasidic Jews. They weren't fucking big fans of blacks as well, right? And that's why people were picking on them a couple months ago, right? So guys, it's not a and even though, and guys, even so, even if they treated me like shit, I'm still gonna help the fucking lady. Cause one, she's a lady. Two, she's an older lady. Three, the guy is fucking like 8 times her size. So I'm still gonna go in there and help. Doesn't matter what the fuck, if she likes me or not, doesn't matter. I still help. I'm just saying, I understand why there's certain groups of people here in the city that might not like Asians, why Asians might not like blacks. I understand that. It's a fucking all the way around thing. So, yeah, Southern Belle teacher, I guess. And maybe it's a demographic thing, guys. Maybe it's a demographic thing. Maybe it's a New York Asian thing versus a California Asian thing. I don't know. I'm just telling you from my experience. I'm not saying they're all like that. I'm just saying, that was my experience here in New York City. Right? So anyway, guys, the guy who beat the woman up, this lady up, right? The guy that beat this lady up. So let's not say Asian lady anymore. Let's just say lady, because I mean, then you're driving the racial wedge by fucking labeling everybody what they are. So this lady's getting her ass handed to her, right? And the guy who was handing her ass, if that makes sense, he killed his mother back in 2002. He stabbed her to death. So the psychopath should have still been in jail, but instead, because liberal New York City thinks crazy people need a chance, they need a second chance, they let them out, or let him out. And he beats this lady up. I'm sorry, guys. And if any of you have like psych issues, you can unsubscribe to me after I say this. But fuck crazy people. Enough already. We're trying to give these fucking people second chances and a better living and all this other bullshit. There are people who have psych issues, and then there are fucking crazy people. People with psych issues can absolutely work with society. They can live amongst us. But crazy people have no place in society. They don't. All right? So if you are a psychopath, do me a favor and unsubscribe to me, because fuck it. I'm done with fucking protecting the crazy and the people with psych issues and trying to make us feel sorry for them. The movie The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, it was there to make us feel bad and understand crazy people. Fuck crazy people. There was a crazy guy a couple years ago that threw his fucking mother off the terrace. All right? He was a psych patient. They kept giving him multiple chances. They were doing wellness checks. They were putting him on his meds. Crazy people don't stay on their fucking meds, guys. They do not. That's why they're fucking crazy. So this guy throws his mother off the fucking balcony. This was probably like 15, no, wait. This is probably 17 or 18 years ago. Okay? So keep this in mind, guys. Crazy people have no fucking place in society. They don't. All right? People with psych issues, different story. Crazy people that are taking lithium or whatever fucking bullshit they have them on, they do not belong in society. Period. It's not up for an argument because we're seeing it time and time again. The psych patients here in New York City are running the city. They're shoving people in the fucking train tracks. They're beating up Asian people because they're thinking they're going to get a free fortune cookie out of it. I don't know. But they are fucking losing their minds. They're taking shits in the middle of the streets. Guys, It's fucking bad. Crazy people need to go back to the psych ward. We shouldn't have let them out, but now we did. Yes, Little Nas. Thank you, Trust No One. Little Nas is another one. That's a crazy fucking guy. That guy used his fucking LGBT fucking status to get fucking more points in the game. The guy's a shit fucking artist, right? And he made a blood sneaker, and now he's experiencing. He's expressing himself through his sneakers. Fuck him and his sneakers. Fucking shitbag sneakers. They probably fall apart when they get wet anyway. Anyway, back to the whole fucking New York City falling apart. Shootouts in the city every day. I'm not every day, shootouts every day, but shootings every day. There's been more shootouts lately than normal. Now I remember growing up, there were shootouts damn near every day of the week. Then in the 90s, Mayor Giuliani comes in, he locks it down. Bloomberg takes over. He holds on to it. De Blasio comes over and he grants the criminals their criminal card. He stamps it. Boom. He says, now you motherfuckers could do what you want. Because now there's shootings left and right. They're shooting at cops. The cops are getting the shootouts. They're shooting at each other. The gangs are going unchecked because now they can't fucking patrol the streets anymore like they used to, the cops. Right? So now gangs are doing their fucking thing. Oh, and speaking of psych patients, by the way, I don't have a picture of it, but I will show you guys a picture in the next video. There is a psych patient, crazy guy, living in a park across the street. I told the wife the next time he goes to breakfast or whatever, he gets out of there, I'm cutting his fucking home down. He built, guys, you have to see the next video I do on this fucking shithole that I'm throwing away because it's a fucking enough already. The psych patients are living in a park. That's the other thing too. They're building homes, mansions out of cardboard boxes in the parks. Anyway, man. Nice, John. So it's out of control, guys. The shootouts, they're out of control. And here's the bigger issue with this whole thing. There is no leadership here in the city. There is zero leadership in the city. The mayor, I guess because they grant weed, they legalize marijuana here in the city. They legalize weed. The mayor and his wife are off to the races of smoking weed, so they're probably never going to step foot. They're never going to step to the line again as far as leadership goes in the city. Those two fucking cowards. I don't even know how we ended up with them. You know why we ended up with fucking this shitbag mayor? Because this shitbag mayor, de Blasio I'm talking about, used his fucking family as a political pawn piece to boost his votes. Because in his video, when he was like, I'm Mayor de Blasio, I'm the doofy white guy, look at me, I'm so doofy, I'm going to run this city and fuck it at the same time, haha, right? I'm so doofy, I'm so doofy. And by the way, my wife is black. And then here goes this little son with the fucking afro talking about, hey, that's my dad. And everybody, and including myself, we had to rewind the video, the commercial. Rewind it. I'm like, what the fuck? That's his father? And that's how he got into fucking New York City as a mayor. He used his fucking son and his wife as political pawn pieces. And here we are. Fucktopia, right? City is fucking falling apart. Cops are fucking handcuffed, shackled now. They were handcuffed before. They're shackled now. This is where we are, guys. Shit fucking city. Rats everywhere. Crimes through the roof. People are fucking gonna be smoking weed left and right now. Like they weren't already. Right? R. Jones. Listen, guys. For all of you guys, R. Jones included, you guys live in bigger cities. You're gonna start seeing this shit. You're gonna see the Democrats roll this shit out. All right? So, it's just going to get bad, guys. I mean, like, astronomically bad. And the other thing, like, before I move on to the police reform, the other thing that I'm looking at right now is this whole Chauvin case, right? I'm looking at the Chauvin case like, yo, if this cop gets off, it's going to be, holy shit. It's almost going to be, it's going to be exciting and scary at the same time, right? Like running into a burning building, because the city's going to burn. It's going to undoubtedly burn. It's going to burn to the fucking ground if Chauvin was to get off. I don't see Chauvin getting off because I think the jury already has their mind made up. When the city of Minneapolis paid for Floyd's death to the family, that was already an admission of guilt in the city's eyes and in the family's eyes. They paid him out already. They should have waited till after the case to pay out the family. but instead they paid it out ahead of time. Chauvin doesn't have a shot in hell. Now, what Chauvin did was bad. There were a lot of factors into Floyd dying, right? It was not only the knee in the neck, it was the drugs. There was a lot of things going on that contributed to it. The knee in the neck was probably the icing on the cake, if you will, no pun intended. But the pressure on his lungs not expanding and all this other bullshit, you get it, right? So now, Southern Belle, he's not. But there are a couple of things that are going to come to light, I think, later in the court that's going to fucking stump a lot of people. So we shall see. Kevin R. Yeah, his lawyer does suck. But listen, I don't think his lawyer is undoubtedly going to have death threats if they win. Right? So his lawyer, I think, is going to probably throw the case. I can see this. Yes, and OJ got off. Listen, I think OJ got off for another reason. I don't think, and this is complete conspiracy theory, not conspiracy theory, but speculation. So follow me with OJ real quick. Reaching Cold Mountain, no cop is judge, jury, and executioner, but the cop was doing his job. Bottom line. We're not going to debate whether Chauvin wasn't doing his job. He was doing his job. He was doing a sanctioned move by the police department. It was a sanctioned move. So you can't now throw him under the bus. Though, the opposite side of that coin, before you smash a computer, the opposite side of that coin is Chauvin should have looked down and known better. He should have looked down and went, oh shit, he's not breathing anymore. Let me do something. That right there, you can sit there and say, you know what? He's not breathing. Let me do something. But that's a different case. That's a different story for another day. There's a lot that goes along with that, guys. It's just it's some people think it's an open shut case. Some people think it isn't. Right? So it's just a bad place to be. Now with OJ, for those of you that said OJ Simpson did it or didn't do it, my theory with OJ, and it came to light maybe a year ago. I don't think OJ did it. I think his son did it. Now, follow me real quick. His son, again, learning about this all a year ago, his son has major psych issues. Actually, his son has had behavioral issues growing up. His son has true anger issues. And then the divorce between OJ and Nicole was bad. And I think OJ's son was pissed about it and pissed at the fact that she, to his thought process, thought that she was hurting him financially and all this other shit. I think the son did this, killed her. And OJ fell on the sword. Right? I follow OJ on Twitter, or at least when I had Twitter, I follow OJ on Twitter. And OJ just didn't, somebody who murdered his wife, he seemed to have, I don't know, he just didn't fit the profile. But when you look at his son, when his son got arrested for something a couple years back, when you looked at his son had that look, man. He had that psychotic look. So anyway, that's just my theory. But it doesn't matter anymore because he got acquitted and OJ's off. But I'm just saying, I think OJ, I think OJ didn't do it. Now looking at new evidence, if you will, or speculations, if you will. So anyway, Maggie B, he fell on the sword. He absolutely, his fucking career's destroyed over this. And there were so many factors that came to light after the case. You were like, it just made it, I don't know, a little more plausible. That's all. But and the thing is, guys, OJ at the time to take on, who was that guy? The Ron Perlman, right? The guy she was dating. He was a young martial artist. The only other person that could have taken that young martial artist at the time was OJ's son, who was just as strong, if not stronger than OJ, and fast, and faster. So I like I said, I took that into consideration, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, right, Michael? OJ was a great actor. Yeah, he was Academy Award winning material. But and anyway, guys, that's just my my little take on the whole OJ case. I know some of you now are gonna be like, "Oh, you think OJ didn't kill that lady? Oh, fuck you! I'm unsubscribing. Be gone. I don't care. I don't have time for finicky people anymore. I really don't give a fuck. If my subscribers should drop down to 500, I wouldn't give a fuck at this point because people are so finicky. Look what Bear Independent put out the other day about telling people kick rocks, right? He's like, yo, fuck you. If you don't want to be, and he didn't say fuck you. He doesn't curse, but I'm cursing for him because in his eyes, he said fuck you with his eyes on camera. Bear Independent was like, yo, fuck you. You guys don't want to be on my channel? Bounce, leave. He says, let's get back under 100,000 subscribers. Like he really didn't give a fuck. He's done with all the trolls and shit. But like I tell you guys, trolls are a part of the YouTube community, right? So Lisa, OJ's blood and his son would be similar. Yes, exactly. Especially if they're the same blood type, it would be similar. Wouldn't unless they did a DNA test or DNA analysis. Even then, it could still be too close. So anyway, man, you know that's that. That's the OJ thing. But listen, guys, again, for those of you who like, just like OJ did it, fuck you, and Floyd deserved it, and Chauvin, whatever your stance is, guys, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm just telling you what my stance is. People seem to think that I need to sit there and say, well, Chauvin killed him and it was all his fault. All right, whatever, man. It was all his fault. Or George Floyd, he took all these drugs and his breathing slowed down, which he did. He had a shitload of drugs on board, guys. But that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's what it looked like to the people who can't think beyond evidence, right? Or the medical findings, right? Which the medical findings said he died of asphyxiation, but his breathing was also slowing down due to the fentanyl that was in his body. No one wants to hear that shit, right? Everybody wants to blame Chauvin. Yes, Chauvin absolutely played a part in it. We're not going to write him off. But because I take this position, people are going to sit there and say, "Oh, you're a traitor. You're people and all this other bullshit. Whatever. Suck a dick, eat my ass. Whatever the fuck you want to you think it is. You want to unsubscribe to me? Fine. It's not the end of the world. I will move on, guys. If you unsubscribe to me, I will not lose sleep. North Shore Preparedness, man. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. But where are we tonight? Oh shit, 47 minutes in. I'm on schedule, so that's good. And I have 8 dislikes. Thought I was going to get a little higher in the dislikes tonight, but whatever. It's a slow night. And yes, NYC is a debt trap. But listen, guys, it is what it is. Not everybody can just fucking bounce. Though we are looking for a way to bounce. Don't get me wrong, but not everybody can up and leave. Some of us can. Some of us can't. Right? It's just the way it is. All right, guys. So NYPD reform is absolutely bad for the city. Like, first was back. Okay. All right. I guess. I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that comment. I'm not going to reread the comment again, but I don't know where to go with that one. So I'm going to leave it alone. Anyway, guys, NYPD reform. Again, I mentioned it earlier. The city got rid of qualified immunity. So the cops are on their own. Right? Yes, guys, if you want to dislike this video to make it an even 10, by all means. Or 20. Whatever floats your boat. I don't care. I really don't. Listen, like Bear Independent, myself, I think a bunch of us, we don't give a shit. We do not care anymore. It doesn't fucking matter. Listen, I never cared. I never gave a fuck because you cannot satisfy everybody on YouTube. You cannot satisfy everybody in the country if you're a president or a politician. You just can't. You're always going to be an asshole to somebody. So I will be an asshole to whoever wants me to be an asshole. Deborah, dude, thank you again for the donation. I appreciate it. You know what? So whatever it is, man, I don't have the capacity to give a fuck. Guys, this is YouTube. That says it in itself. It's YouTube. It's not the end of the world. Right? So, guys, qualified immunity. Beat chew up. If I'm saying that, what do you mean qualified immunity is BS? It's not BS. There's a reason for it. Because assholes can now sue cops for every little thing. For those of you that says NYPD needs reform, do me a favor. Tell me how, in an essay, in an email, how they need to be reformed. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you guys who think NYPD needs reform get robbed, beat up, smacked around like the agents are, then you're going to be singing a different tune. When the cops are not doing their fucking jobs because you assholes think they need reform, you're going to be singing a different tune. When they're fucking guys on top of you, either A, raping you with a gun in your face or smacking you around, or a fucking, or a lesbian is raping you guys, or whatever the fuck it is, you guys are going to be fucking like, we're the cops. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot fucking have cops getting reform and saying, oh, I like it this way because now they do what I say. But as soon as they're not there to help you, you're fucking crying, screaming, and fucking, where are the cops now? How come they're not here? I'm going to sue them for not protecting me. Right? And so, cops equal comply or die. That must change. It is Fox Bear. It's not comply or die. Listen, I'm 43 years old. I have more than enough running with cops. I am not dead yet. Why am I not dead? I'm black. I fucking motherfuck the cops left and right. Left and right. And I still do to this day when they're fucking out of line. And I am still not dead. Why is that? I was doing it before I was a fireman. I'm doing it now. So what's the difference? Again, guys, the reform is not PD needs to reform. They need to probably do better with hiring folks. But you can't hire folks, guys, when you're fucking lowering fucking standards. So for you idiots, again, who think that they need reform, again, do yourself a favor right now because I'm going to hurt your fucking feelings. For you idiots that think that cops need reform, you're a fucking asshole. Because it's not about reform. It's about the fact that they lowered the fucking standards and they took these fucking shitbags in. There goes your fucking reform. Stop hiring pieces of shits and start fucking putting back the standards that they had, and you'd have better fucking cops. Better standards means better cops. Fucking period. All right? It's not rocket fucking science, guys. It's really not fucking rocket science. It's that fucking simple. But let you guys fucking sit there and go, well, they need reform because, they talk to me a certain way. What? You never fucking got yelled at before? It's just that. You do something wrong, they tell you to do something, that's what it is. It's called order, guys. That's what it is. All right? So, again, you guys want to sit there and try to have it both ways. You liberal pussies can't have it both ways. Period. It's one or the other. Yes, do cops get out of hand? Absolutely. Absolutely. But is it all cops? No, it's fucking not all cops. So you guys you can't sit there and label them all. And listen, there are a lot of good cops that do good shit and no one's fucking showing them no one's showing them doing good shit. They're not. Right? But you guys want to go after the whole police force. She loves. Listen, that was one incident over the fucking mask thing. And all she had to do was put a fucking mask on or leave the station. She had two options. But instead, she wanted to tussle with the cops. Now, should the cops use better judgment in that case because there was a kid there? Yes. But it still doesn't change the fact that she was being an asshole. Period. Elena, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the donation. It's fine. I'm just on my fucking, weekly rants with fucking liberals who think they can come on here and talk about, oh, there needs to be police reform. Listen, I'm watching fucking the cops being handcuffed in the city. They are now shackled in the city and crime is skyrocketing. Innocent kids are fucking dying because there's no cops on the street because cops don't want to do their goddamn jobs because people like you, liberals, whoever the fuck you are, want to fucking handcuff them. Yes, cops can do better, but you're not going to get better because cops are people. It's a problem. No, beat Chu. In that incident, I don't wear a mask. I'm dead against the mask, but she should have then left the station. Let me clarify that. I don't wear a mask. I'll go on the train station tomorrow with no mask on. They're not going to tell me shit. They overreacted. Yeah, and yes, but nonetheless, guys, if a cop tells you X, Y, and Z and you're wrong, just leave. Don't fucking argue with them. It don't make any sense. Now, if a cop is doing some egregious shit, then yes, you can argue with them. but you're not gonna fucking win on the streets. You are not going to win. I don't know how simpler that needs to be said. Take that shit to court if you felt like you were wronged, right? Anyway, guys, I don't know why people seem to think that they're gonna argue with fucking like cops on the street. It don't make sense. Keep your mouth shut. Wait till you get in the fucking courtroom, guys. That's it. It's that fucking simple, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe like I said, 43. I had enough running with cops. I've been arrested for doing wrong shit. I've been fucking almost arrested for doing nothing. But it's me handling the cops the way I have in the past. I'm still here. I was never shot. I was never beaten. So, you go figure, guys. Why I haven't been beaten or killed yet, but other guys are getting beaten and killed. You do the math, and I'll tell you what the fuck it is. Anyway, guys, moving right along. Beat you, I guess. But again, if you don't know the Constitution, then I don't know like why you even fucking like quoting it. But yes, the mask thing is I guess you can say it's a constitutional violation. I'm not a mask guy. I think the mask thing is bullshit, absolute bullshit. I don't think cops should be telling anyone to put a fucking mask on, at all, right? But I think now we're gonna see what the city looks like without cops. You'll see. Bruce, I don't know. I think I think the courts are open for more egregious cases, but bullshit like speeding tickets and shit like that. I think they're doing those over Zoom. But I think the high profile cases like this guy that just beat up that woman, they're gonna open the courts for him. Obviously, like I said, bigger cases they're gonna open it up for. But I don't think the small courts are open. I don't think so. All right, guys. So again, qualified immunity. And listen, guys, I know one of you said something about reform. Maybe again, all right, reform qualified immunity in certain ways. Like maybe put the cop under a bigger microscope, right? And then you know investigate those cases a little more thoroughly, right? And then see whether or not it qualifies for qualified immunity. Maybe they can do it that way. But getting rid of it altogether and telling the cops, you guys are on your own, see you in court kind of shit. That's not what should be done, guys. Yeah, Hanson, man, the whole mass shit is fucking played out. Really is played out. It's done. I'm up to here with the bullshit with the mask. It's stupid. And everyone's like, but you got to do your part. I'm going to get into that in the Angry Truth in a little bit over there. But it's fucking the whole you have to do your part. That sounds very, very familiar to what Hitler used to say to the German people when he wanted them to find Jews. Mark, thank you for the donation, man. I like that. 1111. Thank you for that. It's actually good luck, too. Neighbor Bob, if Chauvin's found not guilty, there's nothing to be scared and nervous about. Just know that it's all going to fall apart fast. I mean, it's going to be a nightmare for a few, I'm going to say a couple weeks. Easy. A nightmare. Straight up and down nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I think it's going to get bad. If that happens, but guys, keep this in mind. And this is going to be another asshole statement. I think the people of America, the inner cities, if you will, the idiots, the morons, they're going to celebrate if he's guilty by destroying the neighborhoods. Probably, I can see that happening. People be like, oh, how do we celebrate that? Free sneakers and TV sets, hey, and then they go to fucking Walmart and they raid the place, right? To celebrate Chauvin going to jail. Truth Hurts, thank you for the donation, man. All right, so, guys. I get so beat you. I mean that makes sense. That comment makes sense. Maybe right. The politicians. Sorry, the politicians need to change certain things. But guys, there are just certain situations. Here's a problem, guy. Beat you up. If I'm fucking your name up, let me know. Here's the problem, guys, with that whole thing. You cannot talk shit until you're in that situation. That is the bottom line. You do not know what Chauvin was thinking when he was leaning on Floyd. You don't know what he was thinking. You don't know what the other cops are thinking. You don't know what a cop is thinking every time he gets out of his car to approach another car for a fucking traffic stop if he's going to get shot. You don't know if the fucking cop, what he's thinking when he's approaching an apartment and it's domestic violence, and that domestic violence can go either way, right? We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know how they're feeling. And it's easy for us, all of us that are sitting here right now, to judge a cop who did something bad. It's easy because we're only seeing one side of it. We're not seeing from their point of view, right? And listen, my father was a cop. He's been retired over 20 years now. Sorry. He's been retired about 20 years now. No, just about 20, sorry. And he would say, he's like, yo, the traffic stop was the worst fucking stop in the world. Because even at night, even if the windows weren't tinted, you still sometimes couldn't see because of the glare of the oncoming cars. And that's a nervous feeling. You don't know what the fucking guy's going to do. You know he's going to pop out of the car and start shooting, right? So with that, guys, it was just one of those things. You don't know what a cop is doing. And again, protocols are different, guys. Protocols are different from, thank you, model railroading. Protocols are different state to state. So you can't say what happened in one state and then turn around and say, well, how come they did it here, but it was different there? Fucking laws and protocols are different. State to state, guys. You can't compare what New York City cop does and what a California cop does. Two very different cops, two very different procedures, two very different protocols. Right? But again, guys, if the shit turns sideways and it's not guilty, it'll be nothing short of the purge. I'll put it that way. It'll be nothing short of that. So for those of you who think, you know what, if he's guilty, don't be in the streets. Don't be in the city. Don't be fucking lollygagging. Take your ass home. If that happens. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be found guilty. And then we might see some skirmishes here and there. But what I think other people are waiting for are the other cops. Now, I hope the other cops are not found guilty. I hope they're found innocent. Sorry, the other cops, because listen, they were following their lead officer. For those of you that don't understand what lead officers do, or senior men, if you will, but you follow their lead. So if this guy is telling you what to do, yes, at some point maybe one of them should have been like bang in the back of his head, get the fuck off of him or something. But it's not It's not how it works all the time, guys. It's not how it works. And if you're listening to your senior officer on scene, then you're listening to them. But at some point, even a Johnny cop would look at the fucking situation and go, yo, I think we need to get off him. Which one of them kept tapping Chauvin. So, to let him know that he was out. And when Chauvin realized he was out, he got off of him, right? But again, guys, it's perception. We saw it one way. Chauvin sees it another way. The three other cops behind him saw it a different way. We all saw something, or seen it from a different perspective. Sorry. All seen it from a different perspective. Right? So, I had one more subject, but I'm going to leave that for the next live stream next week sometime. That was city prepping under the radar. How to prep in the city under the radar. Because, guys, I think we are wholeheartedly going to need to prep more. We are seeing way too many things happen. Beat you, man. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Appreciate the talk, too. I think that with the situation that's happening with Russia and Ukraine, that could lead to World War III. China is going to make a power move on Taiwan this year. I see it happening this year. You're having two power moves being made by two powerhouses, China and Russia. I think that's going to spark the next World War. It could spark a nuclear war. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see where that goes. And we're talking about that in the Angry Truth, which is going to happen in 10 minutes. We're also going to talk about the vaccine passport, guys. Vaccine passport, the vaccination of kids, COVID internment camps, which, guys, COVID internment camps are popping up in Canada. believe it or not. And Cuomo signing a law granting people visitation rights at nursing homes again. Very interesting. This guy is signing a law so that you can see your grandmother and your grandfather again. Cuomo's a dick. I mean, he really is a dick. But, I mean, he's in such a fucking situation right now. It's fucking comical to watch, I think. All right? So, yes, guys, fuck a vaccine passport. Absolutely. Fuck them right in the ass, right? Because, I mean, listen, guys. Like I said, I'm going to get into it more with the vaccine passport and where that's going to go. As of right now, it is not going anywhere good, guys. Not anywhere good. But like I said, if you guys are interested, follow me over at the Angry Truth channel. We're going to dive more into that in 5 minutes. Actually, I'll probably start it earlier. I'll probably start it in 5. I won't start it at 10:15. I'll start it at 10:10. All right, guys? Other than that, I will see you guys over there.